Hey there, Heather, ho there. Chef Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Stone Cold Hockey tournament. I am now doing, well, I did the best on best of the 11 seasons, the top three teams from each season, minus one, of course. But now I'm doing the worst on worst. So, of the 11 seasons of Stone Cold Hockey I have, I'm picking the worst team from each of those 11 seasons, plus 5 seasons in which they would have two of the worst teams. So we're going to go with the randomization and 10. Okay, so I'm just making the notes right now. Just making sure that we get everyone in. 11, 2, 7, 4, 3, 5, 12, 15, 9, 8. Alright. So I did doing the random.org. Now, the 64-65 Bruins, being the worst team in the thing, will be the 10 seed. We're only doing 16 teams, so the 65 Bruins, the worst of the 68. We have the Oakland Seals, who were supposed to do so well, but they failed. They're the number 13 seed. 1971, the California Golden Seals are the number 1 seed by randomization. 75, Washington, they are number 16. The Kansas City Scouts, the other expansion team, number 14. The 84 Penguins are number 6. Randomization, New Jersey is going to be picked at number 11. The 91 Nordiques are number 2. The 91 Leafs are number 7. Remember, it's all randomly picked. 94 Senators are number 4. The 06 Blues, who won a Turtle Derby to be the number 1. They got the number 1, the number 1 draft pick. They're number 3. Pittsburgh, with Crosby, still sucked. They were number 5. The 2012 Oilers, they won the number 1 draft pick. They're number 12. We met Columbus, the actual worst team. Well, number 15. The 2022 Habitants, well, number 9. And the 2023 Blackhawks. That guy Connor Bedard there will be number. Whoops. Alright, where's number 7? So the 91 Leafs. Sorry about that. Alright, so 16 teams, worst on worst. Let's create. Yeah, we'll just do best of 7. So you see the 75 Golden Seals will take on the 75 Caps. The 06 Blues take on the 75 Scouts. The 06 Penguins take on the 2012 Oilers. The 91 Leafs will take on the 65 Bruins. The 91 Nordiques take on the 2012 Blue Jackets. The 94 Suns take on the 68 Oakland Seals. The 84 Penguins take on the 84 Devils. And the 23 Blackhawks take on the 22 Habitants. So we're going to just autoplay. First game, California with a 6-1 win as Smith beats Adams. So Gary Suke Smith takes out John Adams. Washington's only goal by Ron Lalonde. California's goals by Paul Andrea, Greg Jarrett, Ernie Hick, Greg Jarrett again, and then Tim Featherstone with a pair of goals. St. Louis winning in overtime against Kansas City as Lalime beats McDuff. Kansas City at a tough time. Groteau, Simon Nollet, Jules Groteau, and Todd Snell scoring for Kansas City. St. Louis had goals by Keith Tkachuk, Scott Young, and Dean McCammond. And then overtime, Mike Glumac scored from Drake and Chianek. The 06 Penguins win 4-3 as Justin Thibault beats Devin Dubnyk. Pittsburgh goes by Crosby, Ouellet, Sergei Gonchar, and John LeClair. I forgot he was a Penguin. Oilers goes by Jordan Eberle, Taylor Hall, and then Eberle again. The 65 Bruins win 6-2 as Eddie Johnston beats Peter Ing. Boston got off to a 5-0 lead. Boyvan, Bouchak, Prentice, Busek, and Maxner for Wendell Clark scored for the Leafs. Maxner scored a second for Boston, and then Michel Petit scored for the Leafs. 22 Habs won 7-6 as Jake Allen beats Peter Mrazek. 7-6. Montreal goes by Nick Suzuki, Joe Armia, Joe Edmondson, Armia again, then Paseta, Romanov, and Cole Caulfield. The Blackhawks, 23 Blackhawks, Kurashev, Ernst Whistle, Jigger Kahira, Ryan Johnson, I guess, Avinaseu, and Jared Tenorti. There should be one more. Oh no, that's all. That's 6. So 7-6. Weird. The 84 Devils beat the 84 Penguins in overtime 5-4 as Ron Lowe beat Denny Heron. Devils were up 4-0 and almost blew it. Goes by Cameron Verbeek, Paul Gagne, and Hector Marini. What a name. Pittsburgh goes Bob Erie, Rick Kehoe, Ron Flockhart, and Mike Bullard. Before overtime goal by Russell from Broaden and Verbeek. The 94 Senators won 3-2. Billington beats Charlie Hodge. Ottawa goes by Dan Quinn, Dave McElwain, and Brian Glynn. Oakland goes by Caron and Amon. And then Columbus beat Quebec 6-2 as Steve Mason, Kitchener beat Johnny Tanner. Quebec was up 2-0. Sakic and McCagney scoring goals by Columbus, Atkinson, Nash, Dorset, Brassard, Letestu, and Derek McKenzie. So 6-2. Game 2 of the St. Louis Kansas City series. St. Louis winning overtime again. Curtis Sanford beating Danny Heron. Kansas City goes by Nole and Powis. St. Louis goes by Chadayanek and Scott Young before an overtime goal by Dean McCammon from McClellan and Young. 3-2. Edmonton won their game 2-1 as Dubnyk beats Sebastian Caron. Two goals by Sean Horcroft, with Sorovi scoring for Pittsburgh. The 91 Leafs with the shutout win. Peter Ing shutting out Eddie Johnson and his crew 3-0. Dave Reed, Peter Setzel, and Wendell Clark scoring the goals. Shutout, eh? The 22 Habs winning 2-1 as Allen beats Stalock. Goes by Pizzetta and Anderson. Chicago go by Johnson, his second. Pittsburgh 84 Penguins won 4-2 as Heron beats Chico Rash. Pittsburgh goes by Mike Bullard, Taylor, Bullard with the hat trick, looking good. Devils, Higgins, and Don Lever. Game 2 saw Oakland beat Ottawa 3-2 in overtime as Gary Suitcase Smith beat Craig Billington, and we're up 2-0 on goals by Amon and Caron before Fly Rusika and McElwain scored for Ottawa. And then Bill Hick at 18 minutes of overtime from Cahan and Bond. Quebec won 4-3 in overtime as Tugnutt beat Sanford to tie that series. Columbus goals by Rick Nash, RJ Umberger, and Mark Letestu. Quebec goals by Matt Sundin, Stefan Morin, and then Sundin. And then in overtime, Sundin finished off the hat trick from Mike Huh. Kitchener just before overtime ended. And California won 6-3. We have 2-0 on Sportvy. Beat Ron Lowe. Cali goes by Featherstone, Jarrett, Ferguson, Gorteau, and Roberts. They're still looking good. Atkinson, Lalonde, and Nicholson for Washington. Game 3's Pittsburgh, the 06 Penguins with the shutout win as Caron gets a shutout over Hoppy Bulin. Crosby with 2 and Siggy Palffy also scoring. 65 Bruins won 9-1 as Peter Ing was shelled for all 9 goals. Gary Leeman did score for Toronto, but too little too late as Ad McDonald, Tommy Williams, Ed Westfall, Ad McDonald with the hat trick, Reggie Fleming, Dean Prentice, Ted Green, and then Reggie Fleming. 9-1. The 22 Habs up 4-1 as Jake Allen beats Soderblom. Chicago with so many goalies, but they can't do anything. Montreal goals by Anderson, Weidman, and David Savard. And Jeff Petrie. Chicago goal by Jones, Caleb Jones. The 84 Devils winning in a shutout as Ron Lowe gets a shutout over Roberto Romano. Goals by Mel Bridgman, Dave Cameron, and then Brumwell. 3-0. Oakland won 3-1 in their game against Ottawa as Smith beat Darren Mattingly. Brad Shaw scored for Ottawa. Eamon Hister, then Larry Popain, and Gary Edmond with his 4th. Quebec won 5-2 in their game as Jacques Cloutier beat Steve Mason. Columbus goes by Ryan Johansson and Rick Nash, but Quebec goes by Matt Sundin, Tony McKegney, Ryan Fogarty, Guy Lafleur, yeah, he played for that team, remember, and then Kip Miller. Meanwhile, California won 4-2. They're up 3 games to none as Smith beat Belhuma. Washington was up 2-0 on Mike Marson and Ron Anderson's goals, but California with Hardy, Robert Stackhouse, Ron Stackhouse, and Ernie Hick doing their job. Remember, Ernie Hick was traded from the Habs to the Golden Seals for that #1 draft pick, one of the 2. And then St. Louis winning in overtime for the 3rd straight time. Sanford beats Heron, so Kansas City keeps losing in overtime. Kansas City goes by Montgomery, Randy Rhoda, Hughes, and Robbie Burns. St. Louis goes by Leaf Stepniak, Eric Brewer, Simone Gamache, Trent Whitfield. I guess that's his name. Yeah, Trent Whitfield. And then Kevin Dahlman in overtime from Chayanik and Kachuk. Game 4's. 65 Bruins win 5-2 as Johnston beats Jeff Reese. Finally, Toronto goes for a goalie change. Dalpouse and Marois scored for Toronto, but to no avail as Ed Westfall scored twice. Murray Oliver and then Gibbs. Montreal with a sweep with the 23 Blackhawks 2-1. Stay Left loses to Jake Allen. Caulfield and Edmondson for Montreal. Johnson for Chicago. So the 23 Chicago Blackhawks are going to, well, they got swept. So they're going to be part of the losers bracket, if you will. Pittsburgh won in overtime over New Jersey 4-3 as Romano beats Resch. Pittsburgh goes by Taylor with a hat trick, and then Mike Bullard, his 5th of the series in overtime from Hoffman and Schmidt. New Jersey goes by Bridgman, Russell, and Verbeek. Ottawa won 5-2 to tie that series up as Craig Billington beats Charlie Hodge. Ottawa goes by Dan Quinn, Alex Stagg, the hotshot guy, Dan Quinn, Alex Stagg, and then Rusicka. Oakland goes by Harris and Eamon. Billy Harris, that is. Columbus beat Quebec 3-2 as Steve Mason beats Jacques Cloutier. Quebec goes by Mike Huh, Kitchener, and Joe Sakic. Columbus goes by Rick Nash, Derek McKenzie, and Nikita Nikitin. Washington won in overtime over California to keep their series around. Ron Lowe beats Gary Suitcase Smith. Washington goes by Cowick, Bill Lezick, Stan Gilbertson, Grip, and then Grip with his 2nd of the game from Tommy Williams. California goes by Ferguson, Bill Hick, Jerry Eamon, Jerry Eamon. They've been doing well in that series. St. Louis sweeps Kansas City 4-1. Sanford beats Danny Herron. So the 75 Scouts are going to have to try again. Sanford beats Herron. Dennis Weidman, Lee Stevniak, Chris Bachman, and Trent Whitfield all scored goals. McUmery for Kansas City. 4-1. And overtime by Edmonton to tie their series at 2 as Habibullah beats Caron. Pittsburgh goals by Saroli, Mario Lemieux. Yeah, he played for the 06 Penguins before he got hurt. And John LeClaire. Edmonton goals by Ryan Jones, I guess. Nugent Hopkins, and then overtime Sam Gagner from Hemsky and Smith. So anyway, 2 series are done. Let's go to Pittsburgh, New Jersey, where Pittsburgh won 5-2 as Michel Dion beat Ron Lowe. Devils goals by Mel Bridgman and Pat Verbeek. Pittsburgh goals by Ron Flockhart, Rolston, Mike Bullard, and then Hotham and Pat Boutet scoring those goals. Ottawa won 5-2 over Oakland. Billington beat Hodge. Oakland was up 2-0 goals by Jerry Amon and Odrowski. Amon is 6th. Ottawa goals by Dave Archibald, Alexei Yashin, Andrew McBain, Alex Daigle, and then Sylvain Turgeon. Quebec winning 4-3 as Jacques Cloutier beats Curtis Sanford. Quebec goals by Tony Hurkacz, Guy Lafleur, Tony McKechnie, and Brian Fogarty. Columbus goals by Nikita Nikitin, David Savard, and Rick Nash. California beats Washington, so the 75 Washington team will have to try again to win a playoff series as Suitcase Smith beats Ron Lowe. Washington goes by Mike Morrison, Randy Lalonde, and Bill Grip. California goes by Jerry Crutel, Tim Featherstone, Tommy Williams, I guess that is, Dennis Hextall, and Mark Lawton. Pittsburgh wins 4-3 in their game as Marc-Andre Fleury finally comes in net and he beats Devin Dubnyk. Edmonton goes by Ryan Smith, Linus Olmark, and Randy Jones. Pittsburgh goes by Siggy Palpe, scoring 2 straight, then Colby Armstrong and Maxime Ouellet. And Toronto wins again 6-4 as Peter Ing beats Eddie Johnston. Boston goes by Nibs, Dean Prentice, and Wayne Rivers. Toronto goes Peter Cecil, Mike Krzyzewski, forgot he played for them in 91. Wendell Clark, Kevin McGuire, Wendell Clark again, and then McGuire. So there's still 5 more series left. Oakland beats Ottawa 5-4 as Hodge beats Billington, so that has to go to a Game 7. You don't want to be in that loser's bracket again. Oakland goes by Swarbrick, Brenneman, Bill Hick, Odrowski, and Bill Hick again. Ottawa goes by Brad Lauer, Dave McElwain again, and then Kerry Huffman. Columbus beats Quebec 5-1 as York. Who the heck is this York guy? He beats Quebec and Ron Tugnutt. Quebec got second, his third, but Nash is 6th, Dorsett his 2nd, Tealton his 1st, Letestu his 3rd, and Finney Prospal with a goal in that series. Edmonton forces Game 7, 3-2. 2012 team, Dubnyk beats Canon. Pittsburgh goals by Sid the Kid and Maxime Ouellet, but Eberle, Ryan Smith, and Horkoff scoring. 91 Leafs won 7-4 as Ing beats Johnston, so the 91 Leafs are forced to Game 7. Boston goes by Ab McDonald, Reg Fleming, Johnny Busick, and Ed Westfall. Toronto goes by Dave Reed, Lucien Debois, Michel Petit, Fede Dampus, Randall Clark, Rob Ramage, ooh, I hate that guy, and Michel Petit, his 2nd of the night. And Pittsburgh beats the 84 Devils, so the 84 Devils will have to be put back in the ringer as Pittsburgh won the series 5-3. Danny Herron beats Ron Lowe. Bob Urey, Mike Bullard, Doug Shedden, Mike Bullard again, and then Rolston. Bullard 8 goals in this series. Devil goal. Mel Bridgman, 4th, Billy McMillan, and Paul Gagner. So 4 game 7s. 4 game 7s. All Quebec team. Game 7 of Pittsburgh Edmonton ends up Pittsburgh winning, so the 2012 Oilers will have to go till you win a series. Marc-Andre Fleury takes down Hobby Boulin. Edmonton only got Taylor Hall with a goal, but Ryan Malone, Max Talbot, Sidney Crosby, Thomas Aravi, Crosby with the hat trick. Doing his job. Toronto, Boston. It will be Toronto. The 91 Leafs actually pull a rabbit out of their hat and eliminate the 65 Bruins, which means that the 91 Leafs will not be part of the worst team ever. Jeff Reese beats Norris. So Boston goes with a different goalie this time, and it bit them in the butt. Murray Oliver and Wojtowicz scored for Boston, but Toronto goes by Mike Krzyzewski, Peter Cecil, Vinny Dalpous, and then Krzyzewski scored the icebreaker. So the 91 Leafs win that series. Ottawa beats the 68 Seals, so the Seals still have to go until they win a series. Billington beats Hodge. Oakland goes by Gary Aman his 7th, then Ron Harris, and then Aman his 8th, but it's all for naught. It's Ottawa. Dave Archibald, Sylvain Turgeon, Alex Yashin, and Sylvain Turgeon scoring again for the 94 Senators. And finally, Columbus beats the 91 Nordiques. So the 91 Nordiques will have to go back till you lose. As Steve Mason beats Ron Tutnut. Quebec goes by Guy Lafleur, his 3rd. Craig Luanen and Joe Sakic. Columbus goes by Ryan Johansson, Rick Nash, and Derek McKenzie. So Nash has 8 goals in that series. So just to be goals, you have Mike Bullard, Jerry Uman, and Rick Nash all with 8, and Crosby was 7. Points wise, Mike Bullard 14, Crosby 13, Aman 12. Gary Croteau. Okay, that's the thing. Alan York's got the best goals against average. He's only played 1 game. Jake Allen with a 2, but yeah, Gary Smith's only played 2 for the 68 Seals, 1.3. So Alan York, of all people. Yeah, they had all those guys. The worst goalies. Well, Peter Mrazek played 1 game and was 0-1, giving up 7 goals. John Tanner and John Adams also having terrible stats. Peter Ing, look at that, 4.4 goals against average. And the 91 Leafs still won that series. For context, the 65 Bruins, Eddie Johnston had a 3.18 goals against average. And they still lost. So you see the bracket in a sense. So it's going to be Columbus versus California, Montreal versus St. Louis, Toronto versus Ottawa, and the 2 Pittsburgh teams will go head to head. So we're going to see that one. Highlights, well, Chicago and Kansas City didn't win 1 freaking game. So anyway, 5 guys with a hat trick. Mark Taylor is the guy's name. The hat trick. Most memorable game is the 06 Blues beating 75 Scouts in game number 3 of that series. Okay, whatever you say, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, there's 6 league changes in the Montreal-Chicago thing, and that was not ranked number 1. So, yeah. So that's the first video. We'll be doing a double video next time. These 8 teams have to go face each other off and do something to become the best of the worst of the worst. And then the other 8 teams will try to win a playoff series by randomization to see who will have to bump into each other. It should be a barrel of fun. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.